Hi folks, welcome to the X-ray tube / X-ray production lesson. I've placed here a diagram of the X-ray tube. It explains all the parts to it. So this is something you are going to want to look over and understand. We are going to go through it throughout the lesson. And in this lesson we're going to learn where the different parts are housed within the tube, what their functions are, and ultimately how X-rays are created. Here are your student learning objectives, which is basically what I just went over. You can read them at your leisure. The first part we have is the tube housing. The tube housing is made of metal. It encases the entire X-ray tube. So as you can see down here in the diagram, we have the metal tube housing, and then inside is the glass envelope, which we will go over next. It is made of metal to help prevent shock. So also through this tube is a huge current of electricity. So we have to prevent shock to the students and ourselves. It also helps to dissipate heat because with the production of X-ray, the heat is about 99% of what is produced, and X-ray is only about 1%. This last section here, I want you to circle it, highlight it, whatever you need to do, memorize it. This is something that you will need to know for tests and your boards. The tube housing reduces leakage to less than 100 milliroentgen per hour at a distance of 1 meter from housing. So that means if you are at 1 meter from the tube, when an exposure takes off, it's reducing that leakage to less than 100 milliroentgens per hour. Obviously, the further you go, if you're at 3 meters, it's going to be a lot less. And that will go into the inverse square law, which we will get to later on in the semesters. Here's a drawing. So from the other picture, we saw that the tube housing, right, went around the glass envelope. Okay, so here's our glass envelope. All right, and then what's going to happen is this is where the X-rays are made. This is our beam that goes to the patient. These are the electrons that are focused onto the target. But there are some rogue electrons that tend to just fly off. There's many things in the tube that help it to not be rogue, but it happens. So we're going to have leakage. Not a lot, but random, and that metal housing helps to absorb those rogue electrons so that as to reduce our exposure to radiation. All right, so here's the glass envelope, okay? It is made of Pyrex glass. Again, Pyrex is the casserole dish that you or your mother used to make the family favorite and place in the oven. So it has a high heat, withstands high heat. Okay, it is made up of the anode and the cathode. That is the two main sections to the tube. So this thing with the big target, this is your entire anode section. This would be your cathode section. So basically this tube is, if you drew a line right in the middle, that would be your cathode and anode section. It also has a high vacuum seal, and that is to help to prevent those rogue electrons and to let the electrons be focused onto this track only. All right, so the first part we're going to go over is the cathode. It is negatively charged. It consists of the filament coils. So in this diagram here, this is your cathode. Has your filament coils. There's two. One is large, as you can see it's larger, and one is small. As you can see it's much smaller than the large. You will come to learn your MA stations. So on your generator, as you're taking an X-ray, you're going to choose whether a large MA station or a small MA station. And it kind of goes into what you're X-raying. If you're X-raying a large body part, you're technically going to use a large filament. A hand, you're going to use a small filament. It's less dense It doesn't have a lot of fat or tissue, etc. These filaments lie within the focusing cup. Okay, so if you can tell right here, there's a little divot that it lies in. And that is, again, just to help those electrons stay within that cathode until we're ready to shoot them over to the anode. Okay, so the cathode, the important part is this is where the tube current goes into, and that it is negatively charged. They're the two things you want to know. You also want to definitely make sure that you know the filament coils and the focusing cups are part of that cathode section. Okay. So our next part is our anode, right? So here's a increased size of just the anode. It is positively charged, and it is made, it closes the target. So the target is the main part of the anode, which is this, okay? This is where the electrons hit. So most of the time this target is spinning to help dissipate heat, because again, our cathode is giving us bombarding of electrons with high heat and about 1% of photon beam. It is the primary thermal conductor, and it consists of a few more parts. So here's our target. This is the stem of the target. We have bearings, which are these little circle things here, the rotor, and we also have the stators, okay? Stators are not shown here, but it's basically outside, right around here, and that is what helps with a magnetic field. It helps to start spinning that target when we introduce a current. So it is also known as an induction motor. All right, so this part we're going to have you do a little interactive thing throughout your link, and you will match the word with the definition or vice versa. And then we're going to go over image receptor. So once we, we went over our tube, and our x-rays are emitted through, again, we have a tube current. The filament heats up. The electrons are all there sitting on the cathode side. Then you produce that button, and it shoots our electrons over to that anode. Okay, so our anode attracts them because it's positive. The cathode is negative, the anode is positive, and it's attracting those electrons over. So then with that, we have our 99% heat and 1% X-ray that is coming out of the tube right here, and our X-ray photon beam. So now it went from electrons to a photon beam. And then it's going to go to our image receptor. So our image receptor is what captures the image. As you can see on this diagram, I'll point it out, this part of the beam and this part of the beam, they got absorbed within the patient. So therefore, they are not making it to the image receptor. Then we have this little arrow, 2, 3, 4, and they are what had high enough energy to not only penetrate our patient, but to then make it to the image receptor to form an image for medical diagnosis. I have entered in an X-ray production video. I just want you to watch this at your leisure. Please take notes. I think it kind of brings this lesson and things I've said all together into one. I've created a diagram, a blank diagram for you to fill out. You definitely need to know the parts of the tube, and don't be confused, but this may be in opposite directions than other diagrams. So make sure you know which side is anode and which side is cathode. Maybe take a line down the middle to help you focus on the different parts. And then I would like you to probably do a text because it would probably be easier for me to read. You can do the text option, and it creates a box. And you can do, let's see, cathode, all right? And then you can move that around to wherever you need it to be, okay? Then I've created just a 10-question quiz on the information that we went over here. What is the tube housing made of? So these are questions that we should know. If not, you are more than welcome to look them up, look at your notes, or look within the textbook reading. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I hope to see you next week, and we can go over all of this information. Take care. Have a good day.